Hi folks, I hope that you guys are doing pretty well. So today is Tuesday, the 13th of May, 2025. I just wrote this yesterday, that's why it says here 12th of May. Now in today's video I'm going to discuss why the Vatican is a type of the old Babylon kingdom, okay? And I'm going to give you my commentary and why is it that the devil is using the Vatican to go against God, if you like. You know, he's being an antichrist. But first of all, let me just give you the commentary and then all this will make sense to you, okay? Now, the Vatican is a type of the former Babylon Empire. The prophecies in the book of Jeremiah can attest to this. In the book of Revelation, in chapter 17, verse 5, the Vatican is called Babylon the Great, a mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Interesting that it's called a mother, in other words, feminine, a mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Why is it that the Vatican, or she, being called the mother here, is called a mother? In other words, its mother, of course, is a, feminism, right? Now, if you head over to the book in Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 37, it says, "And they shall become as women." Okay, this is God using Jeremiah to prophesy. In other words, God is feminizing the Babylonian kingdom by calling them they shall become as women. In other words, God is feminizing the Babylonians. Okay, so let me show you this very interesting prophecy here in the book of Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 37. Okay, a sword is upon the horses. This is the punishment that the Babylonians are getting, okay? You got to read the context here from verse 34 here to 37. But anyway, this is the punishment of Babylon, if you like. A sword is upon the horses and upon the chariots and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her, okay? And they shall become as women. See how God is actually feminizing the Babylonian kingdom. A sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed. Okay, so that's interesting. So now, let me read further in my program. Okay, so yeah, in Jeremiah, just to recap, in chapter 50:37, it says, "And they shall become as women." In other words, God is feminizing the Babylonians. It also says in Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 36, "A sword is upon the liars." Okay, so let me show you that as well. So it says here, a sword is upon, verse 36, a sword is upon the liars, okay, and they shall doubt. If a sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed. So interesting that God is calling them liars and women. He's feminizing the Babylonians. Now that's interesting because the devil, he's the father of all liars, okay? And also God here is feminizing the Babylonian kingdom, calling them they shall become as women. And so the devil is using the Vatican, if you like, with all their lies and how they shall become as women, as a type, if you like I put down as a type, to rebel against God, So so in Jeremiah 50:37 it says, "And they shall become as women." In other words, God is feminizing the Babylonians. It also says in Jeremiah 50, verse 36, "Are sources upon the liars." Now, if you take into account the words women and liars, this is something that the devil is quite proud of, okay? To possess as personal libels, okay? Why is this? Because it's going against God, We know that the devil is the father of all lies, and so the devil is the father of all lies, and so this is why he has turned the Vatican into a type of the former Babylon. Okay, so notice how God is feminizing them as well. So now, if you go to even the prophecies in Jeremiah chapter 51, verses 6 to 9, they're actually parallel and have a double application for the tribulation period. Take, for example, the prophecy in Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 7, and compare it to Revelation 17, verse 4. In other words, how both the former Babylon Empire and today's Vatican have the golden cup in the hands full of abominations. Now let me do the comparison. Let me read to you what it says in Jeremiah chapter 51 verse 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that might all the earth drunken, the nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Look what it reads in Revelation 17 verse 4. And the woman was arrayed in purple, that's the Vatican, and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones, and pearls having a golden cup. See? Just like it says here in Jeremiah 51 verse 7. In her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Now we know that eventually, according to Revelation 17, verses 16 and 17, the 10 kings chosen by the Antichrist will end up hiding the Vatican, okay, and will burn her to the ground, and God himself will put this into their hearts. So in other words, God is going to allow the 10 kings to eventually burn down the Vatican. That's going to be the punishment. So yeah, I just wanted to highlight, these prophecies in Jeremiah verses 51 and 7, and how it's parallel to Revelation 17 verse 4, how it talks about the golden cup, on both prophecies, So yeah, this is all I wanted to do, folks. Just this video here, just wanted to transmit the message that the Vatican is a type of the old Babylonian kingdom, and how, they are called the mother of harlots in Revelation 17 verse 5, just to finish up. And they are called mother, and, God is actually feminizing them, and so the devil always wants to go against God. And so, that's why he's sort of, using the Vatican, if you like, with all their lies. The devil is the father of lies, and the Vatican is the mother of harlots. It's feminine, mother of harlots. Notice how here God is actually saying through Jeremiah, God is feminizing the Babylonians. So do you see the parallels here? So I think it's actually quite interesting. So yeah, that's it, folks. I just wanted to bring this up, considering that there is a new Pope now, Pope Leo the 14th, and yeah, I think that Pope Leo the 14th will have to find up to eventual Bible prophecies there on the track, especially Revelation 17 verses 16 and 17. The 10 kings chosen by the Antichrist will end up hiding the Vatican and will burn her to the ground, and God himself will put this into their minds. So God is going to allow this. So let me just quickly show you Revelation, just to finish up. Revelation chapter 17. Okay, so if you head over to Revelation 17 and go over verses 16 and 17, and it reads, for the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these are the 10 kings chosen by the Antichrist, if you like, this shall hide the whore, meaning the Vatican, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. See? So the 10 kings chosen by the Antichrist are actually going to hide, the Vatican, and they're going to burn her with fire. For God has put it in their hearts. Okay, so God is allowing this to fulfill his will, and to agree and to give the kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is a great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Okay, so yeah, these are interesting prophecies, folks. Alright, folks, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you all later.